You're watching this because you've noticed a pattern. The more radiant you become, the more some men get weird, distant, jealous, or controlling. This video is the decoding key. Today you'll learn the psychological mechanisms behind why your beauty triggers him, how to spot the 5 most common defense reactions men use when they feel threatened by your presence, and the exact words, boundaries, and strategies that keep you safe, respected, and centered in your power. Let's set the record straight from the start. Your beauty is not a weapon, a trap, or an apology waiting to happen. It's a mirror that reflects the best and the worst in the people around you. When a man is grounded, he sees your beauty and feels inspired. When he's insecure, he sees your beauty and feels exposed. The difference isn't you, it's his story about himself, and whether he has the maturity to own it. Here's the psychological truth that attractive women must know. Your beauty magnifies emotional reality. It speeds up timelines, triggers hidden wounds, and forces clarity. A confident, integrated man will step toward you with steadiness. An unintegrated man will try to pull you down so he can feel level. Your job is not to carry his unhealed pieces, but to carry yourself with boundaries, clarity, and calm. Think of beauty like brightness. When you walk into a dark room with a bright light, dust becomes visible. The dust was always there, but no one could see it until the light arrived. Your presence often functions as that light. If he gets angry at the light instead of cleaning the dust, you're looking at a man who punishes clarity because it threatens his illusions. That's not romance, that's avoidance dressed as attitude. To understand why your beauty triggers him, we must talk about projection. Projection is the mind's way of throwing what it cannot face onto someone else. If he carries shame about not being enough, he'll accuse you of thinking you're too good. If he carries fear of abandonment, he'll predict you're already leaving. He's not reading you. He's reading his own reflection and calling it truth. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the subconscious parts of ourselves we deny, repress, or can't admit. Your radiance invites his shadow to the surface. When a man hasn't met his shadow with honesty, he'll fight you instead of facing himself. He'll nitpick your outfits, question your intentions, create drama, or test your loyalty not because you're untrustworthy, but because the shadow needs a target to stay alive. Evolutionary anxiety can also be at play. Many men unconsciously read a highly attractive woman as high social value and high optionality. If he fears he can't compete or keep your attention, he'll translate that fear into control, sarcasm, or detachment. It's not that attraction equals chaos. It's that unhealed insecurity in the presence of high-stimulus beauty can short-circuit emotional regulation. Status threat is another trigger in male-dominant social hierarchies. Being chosen by a visibly attractive woman can raise a man's social standing. Losing her can feel like a public demotion. If his self-worth depends on status rather than character, he'll treat your presence like a resource to guard, not a person to cherish. That's why some men become possessive in public but indifferent in private. It's not love, it's image management. Let's break down the 5 common reactions your beauty can trigger in insecure men: defensiveness, devaluation, dominance tests, distancing, and drama. Defensiveness sounds like you think you're better than everyone. Devaluation sounds like you're high maintenance. Dominance tests sound like negging or withholding. Distancing looks like hot-cold patterns right after intimacy. Drama looks like sudden arguments before important events. All 5 are attempts to regulate his anxiety by controlling your glow. Negging deserves its own spotlight. Negging is a backhanded compliment designed to make you doubt yourself so you chase approval. The goal is simple: move you from self-anchored to him-anchored. An aligned response is not to argue the insult. It's to name the behavior and exit the frame that sounded like a put-down. I don't do connections where respect is negotiable. I'm heading out, calm, clear, and gone. The Madonna horse split is another psychological lens. Some men, especially those with unresolved shame around sexuality, split women into pure and desirable categories. When your beauty is both elegant and sensual, it collapses their split and triggers confusion. An integrated man can hold your complexity. An unintegrated man will try to force you into a box so he can feel stable, refuse the box, live in your wholeness. Attachment style matters. Anxious men may cling and interrogate you, seeking constant reassurance. Avoidant men may find your closeness overwhelming and push you away to regain control. Disorganized men swing between idealizing you and then sabotaging the connection when it starts to feel real. If you want peace, make a non-negotiable rule: no chemistry is strong enough to override incompatible attachment unless both people are actively healing. Envy and admiration travelleth in line. Mature men translate admiration into effort. Her standard inspires me to grow. Immature men translate admiration into hostility. Her standard makes me feel small, so I'll make her small. You want the former, he doesn't need to be perfect, but he must be accountable. Ask yourself, when you shine, does he soften into respect or harden into control? Your body already knows. Listen. Now let's map red flags that often appear when your beauty triggers him. Sudden policing of your clothes for your own good. Strategic silences after other men give you attention. Public affection that disappears in private. Reluctance to introduce you to high-value people in his life. Repeated jokes about you being a problem too. Manage. Each of these is a data point, not a debate. Treat patterns as truth. Gaslighting frequently hides in concern. I'm just worried for you. Guys are staring. If concern means narrowing your world, it's not safety, it's control. True concern expands your choices. Let me know what would make you feel safer tonight. Want me closer? Want to leave? Or are we good? If he won't give you agency, he isn't offering protection. He's negotiating possession. Let's give you language. If he criticizes your appearance, I'm not available for commentary on my body or style. If you're uncomfortable with my expression, we're mismatched. If he escalates public jealousy, your emotions are valid, but your behavior isn't. I won't be punished for existing. If he interrogates your inbox, privacy isn't secrecy. It's dignity. My phone isn't a shared account. Don't explain your worth. State your standard. Boundaries are not threats. They're architecture. A boundary says, this is the design of a healthy connection with me. Build yours with 3 beams: clarity, consequence, and consistency. Clarity, name the line. Consequence, name what you'll do if it's crossed. Consistency, actually do it. Most boundary problems aren't boundary problems, they're consequence problems. Here's a simple protocol, the 1-2-3 rule. First offense, reflect and re-clarify. That comment was disrespectful. I don't accept that dynamic. Second offense, reduce access. I'm stepping back. Respect isn't landing. Third offense, close the door. This no longer aligns with me. I wish you well. Mercy without memory becomes self-betrayal. Keep receipts with yourself. Vetting is prevention. Use the reciprocate filter early. Responsibility, does he own his mistakes? Empathy, does he notice others' needs without prompting? Self-regulation, how does he handle frustration? Purpose, is he anchored beyond validation? Equality, does he treat service staff with dignity? Curiosity, can he ask questions without defensiveness? Time consistency, is his effort steady or performance-based? Attraction without alignment is a trap. Watch for testing behaviors on dates. Does he withdraw affection when you hold a boundary? Does he compare you to exes or influencers? Does he joke about replacing you? Is his praise transactional, you're perfect when you do X? Testing is data. Don't pass his test, pass your own test. Do I still feel like myself with him? If the answer is no, leave before the invoice arrives. Let's normalize leaving quickly. You do not owe anyone a prolonged audition for access to your peace. If a man is triggered by your beauty and won't own his triggers, You'll become the regulator of his ego while your own needs starve. The longer you stay, the more you'll mistake constant crisis for passion. It's not passion. It's dysregulation dressed as destiny. If you want to stay and try, set a growth contract. I love how we connect, and this dynamic around jealousy and control is a blocker. I'm willing to keep building if we're both actively addressing it. That means individual work for both of us, transparency around progress, and zero punishment for my expression. If we fall back into old loops, I will step back. Agreements beat arguments. Some of you have asked, but what if he's amazing in every other way? Here's the truth. Every other way is a dangerous phrase that erases the part that's harming you. If he punctures your self-trust, the relationship is failing at its primary job. High highs don't cancel low lows. Stability does. Choose the man whose baseline is kindness, not the man whose apology is poetry. Let's address beauty shame directly. You're allowed to enjoy your body, your style, your glow, and your attention. You don't have to shrink to make him comfortable. Shrinking is a short-term strategy with long-term costs, resentment, numbness, and a slow leak in self-worth. Expansion with boundaries is the sustainable path. Be big. Be kind. Be clear. Here are 5 power phrases for attractive women navigating triggered partners. 1. I won't defend my right to exist. 2. If my presence creates pressure, let's choose a pace that protects both of us. 3. I'm not here to manage your insecurity. I'm here to relate with you. 4. Love without respect is theater. 5. If this dynamic returns, I'll remove myself. Rehearse them so your nervous system believes them. A quick nervous system tool. The 3-breath reset. When he's triggered, don't mirror his urgency. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Again, then speak low and slow. Regulation is influence. You don't perform calm to keep him comfortable. You embody calm to keep yourself conscious. Conscious women make cleaner choices. Let's turn to healing your side. Your job isn't to be less beautiful. It's to be less available to chaos. If part of you believes love equals tension, your body will pick men who deliver it. Heal the association. Journal prompt. When I was adored without conditions, it felt like. And when I was loved with conditions, it taught me to. The answers reveal what your nervous system calls home. Choose a new home. If you learned that visibility equals danger, beauty may feel both empowering and risky. Counter it with a safety ritual. Before you go out, choose your outfit intentionally. Text a trusted friend your location. Set a time you'll check in with yourself, and decide one boundary you'll practice saying out loud. Safety is not paranoia. It's preparation that lets joy breathe. Now, the green flags of a grounded man. He compliments without commentary on what you should change. He notices how you feel, not just how you look. He is consistent when other men notice. No showboating, no sulking. He owns his discomfort. I felt insecure tonight. That's my work. He collaborates on solutions without punishing your expression. Keep him close. The gray flags are subtle. He allows your shine, but only in contexts he controls. He praises you privately but is tense publicly. He doesn't mock you, but he erodes your standards in tiny increments. Gray becomes red over time. Don't wait until the water boils. If the pattern needs explaining every week, it's not a pattern you should be living in. A word on social media. If his compliance with your beauty depends on your online choices, you're negotiating the wrong variable. The real variable is his integrity under tension. If you choose to post less for your own well-being, that's sovereignty. If you're forced to post less to keep his mood stable, that's a hostage negotiation. Sovereignty or hostage, choose once. Here's a date vetting funnel you can use immediately. Stage 1 vibe check. Do I feel safe, seen, and unperformed around him? Stage 2 stress test. How does he respond to a boundary and a delay? Stage 3 community test. What do his friends reflect about his character? Stage for future test. When I express a dream that outshines his, does he shrink me or support me? Each stage filters fantasy from fact. Scripts for common moments. When he says, "You don't need all that attention," answer, "Attention isn't my goal." Alignment is, if this environment brings out our worst, we can change the plan. What I won't do is play small to avoid your feelings. When he says, "I'm just being honest," answer, "Honesty without empathy is cruelty." If you're committed to both, "I'm listening." When he goes cold after you shine, say, "Your distance after my wins is noticed." Either we name it and grow, or we end it. Let's address the myth that men are visual, so this is normal. Yes, visual stimulus matters for many men. But maturity matters more. Plenty of men are visual and emotionally literate. They feel their feelings without weaponizing them against you. Don't lower your bar because someone tried to universalize his immaturity. Norms are not excuses. What if his trigger shows up as protectiveness? Healthy protectiveness is collaborative, not controlling. Do you want my jacket? Do you want to head out? Do you want me close? You hear the pattern, permission-centered. Unhealthy protectiveness is permissionless, grabbing, scolding, punishing. If protection removes your choices, it's not protection. It's power hunger wearing a cape. Now for a growth challenge, the 30-day Radiance Discipline. For 30 days, commit to 1 strength 3 workouts per week to anchor in your body. To skill practice 1 craft that isn't about looks, so you remember you're multidimensional. 3 stillness 10 minutes daily to drop under noise, and for sisterhood 2. Check-ins per week with women who hold you accountable to your standards. Radiance is a system, not an accident. If he's willing to do the work, suggest the parallel pathway. He does individual therapy or men's groups for jealousy and control. You do your own work around boundaries and visibility. You both agree on transparent check-ins every week for 8 weeks. If the dynamic improves, measurably less reactivity, more respect, you proceed. If not, you part with gratitude and self-respect. That's adult love. Never forget the safety clause. If control escalates to surveillance, threats, or physical intimidation, this isn't a relationship lesson, it's a danger assessment. Contact a trusted friend, a helpline, or local resources. You don't heal someone by surviving them. Your first loyalty is to your life. Leaving a volatile situation is not failure, it's mastery. Let's reframe beauty entirely. Beauty is not a loan someone gives you. It's a language your soul speaks through your body, your voice, and your choices. You are not a museum to be guarded. You're a garden to be tended. The right partner doesn't build fences around you. He builds a home with you and leaves all the windows open. In closing, the psychological truth attractive women must know is this: your beauty reveals character quickly. In the presence of your light, some men will find their courage, others will find their excuses. You don't need to predict which he will be. You only need to protect the standard that tells you the answer. Live the standard and let time sort the rest. Short summary for your memory. His trigger is about his story, not your face. Projection makes you the villain. Status anxiety makes you the prize. Attachment wounds make you the danger. Your medicine is boundaries, vetting, and nervous system calm. Your sign of the right man is simple: he respects you when the room watches you. If you've been shrinking to keep peace, consider this your permission slip to stop. Your presence is not a negotiation. The relationship either expands to hold it or it collapses. Both outcomes serve you. Either you get love that matches your light or you get your light back. That is a win every time. Final practice. Before the next date, write a 1-sentence vow to yourself. I will not abandon myself to be chosen by someone else. Read it out loud. Feel your spine lengthen. When you walk into that room, you're not hoping to be enough. You're checking whether the space is worthy of enough. That shift changes everything. If you got value today, save this for the days you doubt yourself. Rewatch the boundary scripts. Share this with a friend who's dimming her light. And remember, the man who can stand in the sun with you is the man who has built shade within himself. That's the one you build with.